Welcome back to the APSCC webinar series. I'm Christopher Slaughter, your MC for the series. Today is another iteration of our innovation showcase here for 2021. Joining us today, Integrisys and GMV, both of whom will be giving overviews of their company's businesses, an introduction to each of their companies. Starting off, we'll have Integrisys with CEO Alvaro Sanchez.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Alvaro Sanchez. I'm the CEO of Integrisys, and I appreciate very much the invitation from APSCC. Thank you, Chris. So I would like to talk to you about how we build success from innovation. So for 31 years, we have been doing smart tools for network automation and being able to mitigate many industry challenges by these innovations. So we are a software company, and we provide smart solutions for satellite industry. So we focus on our customers' needs. And with that, we develop solutions that solve their issues and challenges. This has been happening 31 years. We up to date are a $5 million company. We are growing since the last 4 years in the number of people, in the number of revenue, profit with our own resources. We invest a lot of the revenue in R&D, because we believe that by developing new technologies, new solutions to real industry problems, we grow. As well as we now have multiple international offices with different staff, up to 57 staff by now. And we have won 4 innovation awards in the last year by providing smart solutions on satellite network automation, and also leading customization projects for our partners that they need something special as well as we invest in R&D. We were founded in 1990 by Hewlett-Packard engineers that were expert in spectrum analyzers, but at that time, Telefonica had the satellite need. They were starting in satellite and needed automated test systems and needed software to be developed. So within Hewlett-Packard environment and devices, we spin up and develop software in the 90s. Then we started with government programs, satellite operators, more in the regional domain. In 2005, we started patenting also in Europe as well as in US. We moved to a more global commercialization in 2010. And we have done a great job commercializing our products globally from 2012 to now, with multiple patents, with serving not only Asia, that is a great market for us, also Middle East, also Americas, North and South, and also Oceanic and Pacific Islands as well. We are very glad to be able to support customers globally from different places. This diagram describes a little bit about our company, where we have different offices. Madrid is the product office, with all the admins, the headquarters, with Seville as the office for R&D and custom development projects in the other side. And we also have 3 regional offices here. We have Indonesia, US, and a new port that is Dubai, Middle East. So our business model is based on software. So we are in the cloud. We are able to communicate in a private cloud, in a hybrid cloud, in a full cloud environment, as well as we can develop for specific hardwares in that regard, whether it's an antenna, whether it's a server, whether it's ACU, and we develop software for leading the network automation, and especially in the satellite industry domain. The global, we also provide global service for not only SaaS, software as a service, but also support. So we support 24/7 from different offices, from our 4 different offices with engineers that are local. So in that regard, the communication is much more fluid. Also, we develop customization and customizable softwares for our customers. If our product do not comply 100% with their requirements, we build those requirements for them. As well as if we don't have a particular technology, but we have the knowledge to build it, we do build it for them. So we have a lot of expertise. We have engineers that have been more than 25 years within the company, within the industry, developing technologies in the RF domain. So we are experts in that particular matters. And we have a lot of engineers with more than 10 years of experience, also within the industry and also within our organization, as well as multiple organizations. So just to give you a hint, we have systems all across Asia, and we are very happy to have them, and we look forward in strengthening our roots with Asia, with our office in Indonesia. So here is the global network of offices. This is where I'm sitting today in Madrid headquarters. Then we have Washington, D.C., and it's very close to Dallas Airport, Washington Dallas Airport, Jakarta office, Dubai office, Innesima Tower, and Seville office. So we have a big addressable market from the oil and gas, defense, aero, maritime, broadcast, land mobility, broadband, and even Earth observation. We have technologies that feed all this application, and we are focusing on serving these applications when they demand connectivity and solving challenges in that regard. Some of our best partners in the domain globally are iDirect, UHP Now Contec, Chimera, Intelsat, JSAT, Tycom, Optus, so in Nelco and different providers internationally, and also national players in the Asia domain and region. So we are very honored to work with these companies throughout the years. Now, looking at what we do best, it is from the network design and selling, that is what we do with Beam Budget, to the deployment of the network and maintenance, that is what we do with SetMotion for deployment and AutoSat for maintenance, to the monitoring of the network and detection of any possible interference. We also add a layer of geolocation and interference removal, or what we call clean RF. So whatever it is in the carrier, we are able to separate what is good and bad, what it is the target carrier and the interference, and separate the interference, throw it away, and filter it to the receiver. So in that regard, we are not only able to clean CW carriers, we can also clean modulated carriers and even C-band to 5G interferences, or 5G to C-band in this case. We are able to clean terrestrial interferences, which is very, very important for these days. Looking at the link budget tool, now we provided both in a CapEx model as well as a software as a service, so more OpEx model, pay as you grow, so it's just per use. And in this case, it is hosted in the cloud, and it enables customers to calculate their only budget with their target satellites. We have a big satellite database, more than 100 plus satellites with their coverage footprints, but also it's possible to import footprints as well as to calculate link budgets without. So this is especially built for high throughput satellites and very high throughput satellites. So it takes advantages of the new technologies as well as flat panel antennas or parabolic, and also ACM or not ACM, carrier perhaps in the future, etc. And also we support LEO and MEO missions. We are working with multiple new LEO and MEO companies to provide them with the certainty that their LEO company, their LEO constellation will provide excellent connectivity for investors to invest in that particular scenario. So we will be positioning this in the next Paris Satellite Business Week, World Satellite Business Week. We reduce significant time. It's built for salespeople to sell in non-modern networks, and it reduces the opportunities lost due to time constraints as well. They are able to explain very simply to the customer what they are buying. Additionally to this product, that once you already sold the network, then here is the fun part, to deploy the network. So in this case, we have SatMotion Pocket and multiple complements to this product that enables a fast and automated deployment of the network. So with just a single tool, you can avoid calls to the NOC, you can avoid calls to the hub, you can avoid carrying spectrum analyzers, satellite phones, etc. You save a lot of time and you save a lot of effort. You don't need to come back to the installer back again. So you are able to save huge amount of time, and in few countries a lot of salary, in other countries a lot of expense on traveling. So again, one field installer can do what 6 field installers do just by utilizing SatMotion Pocket. A complement to this is a no-touch commissioning. So it's like an iPhone getting roaming into the new network. So they don't need to communicate with anything. Just the antenna has SatMotion API built into the ACU. The antenna has the capability to do a no-touch commissioning. So it's completely transparent. You throw the antenna on the floor and it works because it can actually do the no-touch commissioning and do the cross-pole check, 1 dB compression point, and report to the NOC, all fully automated without even touching a button. So that's why it's no-touch. Also, we have a similar product, but with built for satellite news gathering. So in that regard, satellite news gathering are able to access the spectrum, access the satellite, and their own spectrum that they will be transmitted from broadcast, see the modulated carrier as well as the clean carrier, point, know the cross-pole, and start service. And satellite operators can invoice them as they use the capacity. So in that regard, it's way better than processes today. Much more automated. It can be integrated with the booking systems and the invoicing systems through an API. Additionally to this, we have a VSAT maintenance tool that these days it's extremely popular. COVID has disabled us to travel. COVID has disabled us to visit any customer or facility. So what AluSat does is a virtual SatMotion. It's a virtual installer. So if you have an auto-acquire antenna or you don't, you are able to do all the SatMotion process, but from the NOC. So you are able to install remotely. This is a huge advantage in that regard, because actually in many cases, you don't need to fly a helicopter to a oil rig, or you don't need to bring someone to some premises that they are not allowed because of COVID restriction. So it enables you to get additional revenue much faster, as well as keep the customers happier when there is a challenge. Moving back from the deployment and maintenance, we look at the SLA, how we certify service level agreement, how we monitor our capacity, see that our capacity utilization is just fine, and there are no possible threats. So in this case, it's a control set that enables to comply with the SLA in 4 nines. It provides you SLA reports automatically just from measuring the carriers. It has an API that can integrate whether with new dashboards, whether with new reporting systems. It's able to measure 200 carriers in only 1 second, 200 beams in only 1 second. It is built for high throughput satellites, and it complies with the centralized location to monitor many assets and many sensors throughout the chain, as well as it can be virtualized in the cloud and provided as a service as well. So it is very, very disruptive with automatic alarm and false alarm detection. So yes, this is an excellent product for monitoring not only ACS, also LEO and MEO compliant. On the other hand, we have a complement of control set and upgrade that is vector set, and it enables you to calculate and to measure the interference underneath the carrier. So control set measures above the carrier and in a spectrum that is not utilized or is with a low power utilization. But in vector set, we are able to go into detail and see underneath the carrier what is happening. Why do we have this problem in this network? We don't need to set down the carrier in order to see what it is underneath and set down our service. No, we just see underneath and report to X company, X organization, international organization, to mitigate this interference in that regard. Unlimited satellites, unlimited polarization, and many users can share control set and vector set capabilities at the same time, whether it's from the same device or devices spread around the world. So additionally to that, we saw the interference detection, geolocation, and carrier, so interference removal and clean RF. But we are looking at custom projects for the success of our customers. So in that regard, we have customers around the globe, and they suffer different challenges, as well as they suffer different challenges depending on the particular market they do serve. So we are happy to develop detecting our customer needs by asking them and listening. We are happy to comply 100% with what they need and build it. Also, we provide training ad hoc to their needs. We align totally adapting to the customer, and we provide a project manager that go all the path for this development from the start to the end when the signature, customer signature and approval is happening. As well as in the support, we have 24-hour support for future. In our support, it is also included software updates and upgrades, as well as hardware replacement if there is any hardware involved. Within 24 hours, we ship a new hardware from any of our local offices. So with that, I would like to leave you and appreciate your time and tell you that we are extremely pleased and glad to work with your companies or potentially work in the future for building success from the innovation we count on doing by listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Alvaro. And as always, good to hear from you and a great overview of what Integrasys is up to. Joining us now, we turn to GMV, with Enrique Fraga. Enrique is the head of the Satellite Control and Mission Planning division of GMV, and he's here to give us an overview of what GMV is up to.
So this is Enrique Fraga from GMV. First, let me thank you for seeing this presentation, and also thank APSCC to invite me to this innovation showcase. So the purpose of today's presentation is to introduce you a little bit of the last innovation that we had during the last year in my area. So I'm Enrique Fraga, as I said, I'm the business unit director of the Satellite Control and Mission Planning business unit in GMV. So you may know us, GMV, but let me just give you some highlights on some figures. So GMV, this is just the space figures. So GMV is part of a bigger group where we are like 2,500 engineers and doing transportation, IT security, and space and defense. So just for space, whereas the company that I belong to, we are around 1,300 engineers now. We are the 6th European group in terms of employees. And we are leading many areas and paving the way for many of the developments that are happening now in space. So, for instance, we are one of the biggest prime in the what we call European GNSS, so Galileo. We are the responsible of the ground control segment. We are responsible of many of the facilities that have been deployed there. We are also number one, removing SpaceX for sure, in providing a commercial satellite control and flight dynamics for telecom operators. We are also one of the most important players in Europe for space robotics. We are also leading all the movement in Europe for the SSTA, STM, so all the space debris detection. We are really providing the services there and doing the most advanced developments in that area. We also have a huge development in EO, in Earth observation data processing, when we have our own framework to develop all the end-to-end chain for Earth observation data processing. And in the European missions, we are also one of the most important players in navigation on board, the GNC, onboard autonomy, and so on. So as I said, we have many areas where we can present what is the innovation today in GMB, but I will be more focused on which is under my responsibility, which is the satellite control and mission planning. Okay, just this is the summary and this is just a summary of the most important customers that we have. You will see on the upper row the space agencies. You will see that we are working for many or almost all of them. You see then the second slide, the telecom satellite operator, where we have our software deployed in, and you see that the list is quite comprehensive. You can see there, for instance, OneWeb, where we are doing the satellite control for the 350, maybe now, satellites that they are flying, and many others. You have Eutelsat, for instance, which is one of the initial customers when we provide the whole software portfolio for them. We have Intelsat, we have Miasat, we have Hispasat, of course. So the list is very comprehensive. And the columns, this is the manufacturer, the satellite manufacturer, where we are working with. Again, it's almost all of them, and we are supporting all the platforms on the bases from their portfolio. So in part of our nominal innovation, I would say, is obviously all the latest developments that these prime manufacturers have been doing, like the Spacebus Neo, Eurostar Neo, the NeoSat, and all these new satellites that they put on the market. We support them in our products. So this is what we call nominal innovation, because it happens every year or every 2 years. And it's the same with our customers. One thing that I'm really proud of is that we innovate with our customers. So we really rely on them to contribute to what we define as a roadmap. So this is like a combination when we are really innovating for something which is a clear need, but all the time thinking about this disruptive needs that you may want to have. So just the last summary of what DMB is, let me put some highlights. As I said, we are number 1 worldwide. We have Eutelsat as our customer. We have OneWeb. In Galileo, as we are responsible of the whole constellation. We are also the responsible for the ground segment for EUMETSAT, the European Meteorological Agency. For both the GEO and the LEO missions, we have been doing with ESA, together with ESA, almost all the satellite control centers for the Copernicus constellation. We also have the control center for the rover in Mars. In the last picture, you see the space debris. We have many services like to help the operators to detect and avoid any possible collision on space or any possible approaching object, and also the catalog for all these objects in space. So, unlocking innovation. What is for us the 3 major points when the innovation is driven us? So we have Constellations. There is, it's not now. He's been here, I don't know, maybe for the last 5 years or 7, where Constellations is everywhere. Everyone is talking about Constellations. So this is obviously a clear need to support in our products. Then, I used to say the new space, but actually what is an innovation for us, because new space at the end is new players. New players play almost in the same playground. So we have products already ready for them, but there is a new brand, which is what we call low-cost new space. It's not only that there is a fast new space, it's a very low-cost new space. So this, for us, has been also a strategic decision to support them, because the business case is different, the business model is completely different, but now it's clear that this low-cost new space is getting a very good momentum. And then the last one is the flexible software-defined telecom payloads. So we started with the Eutelsat Quantum satellite, which is not a software-defined satellite, but is a fully flexible software configurable satellite. So this is without digital transponder on board, but with a level of flexibility not reached before. And we did the mission control, not the satellite control, but the mission control for them. And now we have an internal area, which is just for supporting this new mission that I do believe that will be the next revolution in the telecom market from now on. So what can I say about Constellations? From Constellations, we have been doing products for many years. So we started for something which is not a constellation, was Arabsat as a customer. Arabsat introduced us a concept of almost unmanned operations, and we started with them developing different products. And since then, we took that as a basis, and we are continuously evolving those products to really give the support that our customers may want to, or any possible new need that our customers may have. So this tool is just the usual central log, but the trick is that everything is managed by tags. So you can tag anything, so you can play different sounds, do different reactions from the log, depending on tags, depending on filters, like when you look in Google. So that changed the way that you operate. It's not just a central log, it's now the central place to manage your constellation when something is happening. So it's part of the reaction of the awareness. That has been very powerful. Everything is by configuration. You can configure sounds, alarms, behaviors, reactions from the very same tool, which is web. And it's a very easy to manage way to manage groups, satellites, and so on. The next one we'll call Archiva. We decided at some point to replace our MySQL proprietary database to use InfluxDB time series database, and then plug Grafana, which is an open source. So we developed some dashboards, and we developed obviously some help tools to support our customers. And now the good point is that we can rely on these open source tools for us and for our customers to interface with them and to explode the data as much as they want. So all the prediction, forecasting, detection, awareness is easily modified or easily adapted, or you can actually do quite a good terrain analysis with this. That's make a big difference because there is a completely open data for the customers. Beyond that, what we have is the fleet dashboard. The fleet dashboard is a tool created specifically for this, specifically for Constellations. It's hands-on. You create panels. You have, it's the awareness of the whole constellation. You need to control 300 satellites with a very simplified way of doing. So there is a many. So when you click a satellite, the rest of the panels filter to only see that satellite, that panel, that plane, that group. So that helps you a lot to control and monitor the constellations. Again, it's a web interface. Everything will be monitored remotely, and everything is stored in terms of alarms, in terms of logs, in terms of telemetry, in terms of commands sent to the satellite. So what now about low cost in new space? That has been the last, let's say, research and development that we did. So we took the decision that now we need to focus on cost effectiveness. We need to focus on scalability. So we are not pursuing this single satellite for a university or something like this. Our plans is to support a group of small CubeSat or small satellites. That is where we can really have an added value. And at the end, to keep it with a very low cost approach, what we rely is on an open architecture. Everything that will be based on open source commercial off-the-shelf products. And we created a simplified version reusing part of our HiFly, the satellite control center, modules, libraries, integrating in an open architecture that you can then plug your own software or just rely on what we provide. From the very beginning has been deployed and designed to be run in the cloud in AWS, and being able to interface, like here we have InfoStellar or Amazon workstations. So from the very beginning, we believe that this can be the product to be able to control as a service or to deliver to our customers for them to control the constellation with the minimum maintenance cost, with the minimum licensing costs, and so on. So some pictures of this tool. You see, again, we are using Grafana with some add-ons that we developed that you can have. We are talking about LEOs. We have passes here. We have information of the different stations, the different visibility, the different commands or activities that I'm going to send to the spacecraft. You see, the previous slide was like fleet-wise awareness. This is a specific satellite awareness when you have plots, mimics, status of telemetry summarized in a way, so you can combine different telemetries to create your own summary of the status of the satellite. And then you will have a general view of the different activities going on your constellation. Here we will be playing for the demo that is ready. If anyone can see me, just contact me or anyone on DMB, and we will provide you a demo for all the products that I showed you. So here we are playing with the public TLEs for OneWeb and Starlink. So we have them all monitor with these simulators and having the activities for all the satellites when they reach one of the stations that we have configured now, 57 or something like this. And we have the scalability here is the new services, because it's a purely microservice architecture. New services are created or escalated when there is the need, and then the system gets rid of them and keeping the usage of the CPU low to make also the effectiveness of the Amazon pricing schema. So the last and maybe the most important innovation that we have had in the last years is this flexible software-defined telecom payload. We used to have some product that we call a smart payload, that is more for the operational in the sense of the bus. So how do the satellite platform behave or manage the system, the telecom payload. So we have ring redundancy tools, we have steerable antennas tool, we have power engines or power simulations for the overall DC power consumption of the satellite. We have some link budget tool, which is also for doing the link budget of the satellite. But then this new concept arrives, and we decided to invest and to create even a division within my business unit to manage this. So we had two different products with the Smart RMS when we manage the resource the network needs. So we optimize, we detect, we use the digital processor or the analog processor in the terms of the quantum Eutelsat satellite. We deal with all the coverage, with all the needs that the final user has, the constraints of the mission, and we analyze and help the user to really take the benefit of this very complex payload, because the complex, the powerful is like power needs control. And this is the tool to control the power that this satellite has, because if not, you cannot be able to reach the maximum performance of the payload. So this is the tool to behave like this. So you design actually what you want to have in terms of the satellite network and how you want to operate your satellite or your constellation. So this, now we are in a very good, let's say, timing, having something operational that we can help our users to support these new satellites that are coming, in maybe 1, 2 years, 3 years, and for sure in 5 years, many of the new satellites will be with a digital processor on board, with a multi-beam configuration, completely electronic antenna rotation patterns. So, and everything is now under control of this tool. Actually, of this tool, the previous one was a Smart RMS, which is the resource management system. You manage your resources in terms of the network, and this is the payload control system where we deal with all the constraints of the actual components within the payload, helping the user to modify, to create, or to operate the individual digital or analog or blended or mixed together payload. So between these two tools, we have a very powerful portfolio or very powerful suite of product tools to control the mission of this new flexible digital software-defined payloads. And I have to say that this is also the place where I see more innovation coming in the next years, because no one is operating this satellite so far. So I really believe, and we are working on it, that the artificial intelligence also is, it will be not needed, it will be mandatory for this kind of tool when you have not just one and a single use case, but a group of satellites, a flexible satellite that can do many things. You can switch to broadband, to DTH, in a shot. And if you have many satellites, even co-located, the capabilities that are there for you as an operator are amazing. But you need to have a way, first, to analyze what is the impact or your actual network when you need to modify or create a new business case, but also to maximize the usage of the satellites. Now, even we have support for the beam hopping, for instance. So the beam hopping is not something that anyone is using extensively, but for sure, when we have this level of flexibility, you can really rely on beam hopping for maybe the big boats or planes or areas, or just changing from one side of the Earth to the other, from the same plane, from the same satellite. So the capabilities and the powerful that you can achieve there are really, really amazing. And is my last slide. So again, thank you all for attending and seeing this video. Thank you, APSCC, for these webinars. Looking forward to have the show going back in person. I've been there many times and I enjoyed, and it's a very productive show for the satellite industry. So thank you, and I'm Enrique Fraga. As I said, you can contact me in the contact that are part of the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Enrique Fraga from GMV, for your overview of what GMV is up to in the mission planning and satellite control division. And thank you, Alvaro Sanchez from Integrasys, for your look at what Integrasys' latest developments are. The Innovation Showcase is an ongoing feature of the APSCC webinar series. If you're interested in presenting, showcasing your company's business or new products or services that your company has debuted, please do get in contact with us at apscc.or.kr. Also, join us next week on the webinar series for our review of 2021. Have a look back at the key events that have happened in the year gone by, and a look forward at what we can expect in 2022 and beyond. So we look forward to having you join us for the rest of the webinar series to wrap up the end of 2021. Thanks again, and have a good day.